Manchester United 2, Borussia Dortmund 3, and that's another pre-season loss for United. They've lost their last three pre-season games in a row, and the first team, especially the team that played the last 30 minutes, have definitely lacked intensity since that Arsenal game. Now, I have to say, despite the result being a 3-2 loss, I don't think United played particularly bad. I think the problem was we had chances, we didn't take them, and individual errors defensively cost us, which kind of explains what went wrong last season. Like, Wan-Bissaka was at fault for the third goal. I think it was Williams for the second and Lindelof for the first, or the other way around. Lindelof was particularly poor. It was individual errors in defence, sloppiness, giving the ball away, things that we shouldn't be doing, and hopefully it's just a lack of sharpness because it's pre-season. We won't see as much next season costing us, and then of course not taking chances. But you can see with the amount of service Rashford and the players running in behind we're getting, you can see that Rasmus Højlund will feast on that service, and that should help solve some of the goal scoring problems. You can also look at the situation saying if we bring in Amrabat, I think the midfield lacked a little bit of control. Amrabat will improve that. So if you sign Amrabat and Højlund, I'm not worried, because I think yes we lost 3-2, but I don't think it was an awful performance. If we actually look at the statistics here, and I do want to talk about individual players like Jadon Sancho, Facundo Pellistri, who were particularly impressive. I thought Dalot was good, Donny van de Beek got 2 assists, even McTominay was good. But if we look at the assists here, 65% possession, 13 shots. We actually had 8 on target in the end, I think, or 7 on target. Corner kicks, but big chances created 3. They did create 5 big chances. And I actually think, the first 60 minutes was particularly good. And I think that we actually deserved to go in at halftime 1-0 up. I think Man United should have been 1-0 up at halftime. And I think it was 2 stupid goals in the last 2 minutes of the first half that kind of cost us and flipped the game on its head. And I think that gave Dortmund the confidence. And I thought the team in the first half actually was really good. And, reserve team, the team on the screen, which is the reserve team, I think they played particularly well in the first half, bar Victor Lindelof, who was at fault for those mistakes. Now, in the second half, I don't think we're impressive. Other than Andre Onana, who's just absolutely unreal, breathtaking, I don't think Manchester United were particularly good in the second half. I don't think they were bad, but you looked at it and you looked at the chances we conceded, and it was so many sloppy errors, so many sloppy things, giving the ball away, so many silly things that I'm hoping is just a lack of sharpness in pre-season that Ten Hag's not happy about. Ten Hag needs to crack down on, and because the reserve team is showing up the first team so far in pre-season, and I do think I was a little bit concerned about Mount Bruno, Casemiro. I just think there's a lack of control there, and I think the Amrabat and Højlund signing needed is so evidently needed. I want to quickly talk about some positives before I get into player statistics and more, and I want to get into some other points as well. But before I get into some positives, I think Højlund and Amrabat's needed, but I think a potential weak spot this season will be centre back and potentially right back. I don't think centre back and right back's a priority, because I actually thought Maguire was okay today, and I have no issue with Maguire being that 4th, 5th choice centre back, and I would only get a centre back if we were going to get good funds for selling Maguire and we were going to replace him with a good centre-back like Thibodeau. I mean, if only we got Kim and Jay, that would have been brilliant. Because I do think when Varane's injured, Lindelof and Maguire aren't Varane's level. And I do think we need a centre-back. And I do think right-back could be room for improvement. I thought Dalot was good. And I think Wan-Bissaka has been good, but he wasn't good today. And I do think there's no point signing a right-back this summer. It makes no sense. Only sign a centre-back if Maguire leaves. But I think because we'll get Højlund and Amrabat, and Højlund and Amrabat need to be the 2 priorities. Højlund is done. I think that this season, right back and centre back could just become a little bit of a weakness for Manchester United as well. And I think the 2 things that we learned from this game is that Højlund will feast on the chances. I think, obviously, right back, the centre back situation, we're a little bit vulnerable about Varane. And of course, Onana is just outstanding. But I do think that's something that we need to address. But I have to say there was some positives. Yes, we lost the game. Yes, it weren't great, but actually we did play some pretty good football. I thought that first 45 minutes was actually the best football we played throughout the whole of pre-season. And a player that particularly impressed me was the likes of Facundo Pellistri. Now, Facundo Pellistri, every time he's played for Man United, I don't know if that's just me, but he's always making something happen. He's always doing something, running at players, moving the ball, getting on the ball, being electric, putting in crosses. Facundo Pellistri has always been good when he's played for Manchester United, and for me, I need to see Facundo Pellistri get more minutes. I think if he's not going to get the minutes at United, we need to loan him, but we can't be loaning into Boca Juniors. Let's get him a Premier League loan or a Bundesliga loan. He's good enough to be playing in the top 5 league. He had the Liga loan. He's played in the World Cup. For me, I think I would actually keep Pellistri and loan out Amad Diallo, which is an unpopular opinion, but now thinking of it, Facundo Pellistri actually has World Cup experience, has experience playing in the Spanish League 2 seasons. I think Ahmad would benefit from a loan because Ahmad is a confidence player, and I would keep Pellistri, but I'd only keep Pellistri if we play him. But I have to say, he's a super exciting player. Every time I've watched him, he's sharp, he's direct, he's interesting, he plays very mature, he's very good on the ball, very good at controlling the ball. Even things like carrying the ball forward, he was fantastic at, very direct like Garnacho. I think Pellistri and Garnacho could be that kind of Saka Martinelli. Pellistri, the young kind of unknown guy who comes from South America like Martinelli for a very cheap fee, and then Saka, the Garnacho, the youth player that comes through. I think they've got those kind of potentials, and I really hope we see Pellistri get the minutes as well. But I thought, he's a right winger. Pellistri's a right winger. He's always been a right winger. He played on the left. He was very effective on the left. He's versatile. Antony scored a goal, but we still saw more than Pellistri than Antony. We've seen more from Pellistri than even Rashford and Antony and even Garnacho. I think Pellistri's been our standout winger in pre-season. Now I get it's only pre-season, and Andres Pereira was like GOAT level in pre-season, but he's always been effective. He's always been good. Both wings, he's been great for me. He's mature on the ball. He tracks back. He does everything Ten Hag asks him to do. And I said this 2 months ago. It's absolutely criminal that their course came on in the FA Cup final and not Facundo Pellistri. Absolutely criminal. The other positive was Jadon Sancho for me. I am actually quite enjoying Jadon Sancho at false nine, Jadon Sancho centrally. I think Jadon Sancho looks a lot quicker. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like Jadon Sancho just looks quicker. And I think Sancho's been quite impressive. He made a few key passes, looked sharp in the final third, looked lively, links up play nicely, very intelligent player that can read the play well. I thought we looked better with Sancho false nine than Rashford at striker. Last game, I definitely think the first 60 minutes was an improvement on Madrid. And I thought, the first 10 minutes that the first 11 came on from the 60, 70 minute, I thought they were quite good. And then they just almost became too sloppy. I think that Sancho has been very good in pre-season. I think Sancho the last few seasons, even at Dortmund, has been known for being really slow at the start of the season and becoming good. But Sancho started this season hitting up, firing, playing well, which makes me feel confident with Sancho going into the season. I thought Dalot looked sharp on top of Sancho and Pellistri. I thought Donny van de Beek did look particularly sharp. Even Tom Heaton looked good. McTominay looked pretty decent as well, to be honest. McTominay, Donny was playing well, but Sancho was making runs for balls. He was playing the ball well. He was doing this, he was doing that, he was doing great things. And I think Sancho, Pellistri, and Onana, because Onana is just unreal. Onana is just a crazy level of good. They were my standout players, and I wanted to show you guys some statistics. I've had this up on the screen for far too long. We wanted to get into the player statistics, and I have to say, United played some decent footballs. Individual errors cost us, but the goals came from Antony and Dalot. Obviously, the assist came from Donny van de Beek, so fair play to Donny van de Beek. But if we just look at general attacking statistics there, you can see Antony's missed a big chance. Hugo missed a big chance, and Forsum missed a big chance there. And I do feel bad for Forsum, but he's got to learn. I think I think he came off because of the yellow card, and we didn't want to go down to 10 men. But Forsum will learn. We look at dribbles there. Rashford 1 out of 5 dribbles. Antony 1 out of 4 dribbles. Ooh, what are you doing? Well, for some reason, they've just completely refreshed. Great time in there. But we look at dribbles we were trying to take on players. A lot of them weren't successful, but Dalot 2 out of 3 dribbles. But Pellistri here, which is one I want to highlight, 3 out of 3 dribbles. Really, really effective for me. And Pellistri, for me, was probably man of the match. Onana was great, but I think I'd give Pellistri man of the match. Defensively, the statistics don't matter too much, but even touches, Maguire I thought was decent. I think Lindelof was at fault for the goal. Maguire will get the blame because Maguire's the scapegoat. But for a change, Maguire was better than Lindelof. Most of last season, Lindelof was better than Maguire, but this game, Maguire was better than Lindelof. And anyone of eyes can say that. I thought Brandon Williams started okay, and then I just thought, nah. I thought Eriksen was actually all right, made some really good passes as well. Jadon Sancho, 40 touches, did get quite heavily involved for Sancho as well. And obviously the other players down here, they didn't play as long as the players up here. We can look at other things like key passes. Bruno did make 3 key passes, but I don't think Bruno was great. Bruno's always making things happen. But I just think the retention in midfield lacks. And I think this is why Manchester United evidently need Amrabat so well, because I just think that retention in midfield has lacked. We do give the ball away a lot as well. But look, positive things to talk about. Sancho looked very fluid. Pellistri looked really good. Onana looks absolutely unreal. And I can't wait to just watch Onana play. He is so good. I literally just can't wait for Andre Onana to play and watch him play even more. And I think that the issue should be solved by signings as well. But yeah, I think, you know what? I'm a bit worried for the start of the season. They did look a little bit rusty, but we've only got really a pre-season game left for the first team. But I trust Ten Hag to kick it out of them like he did after Brentford and Brightford. Smash like, smash the subscribe. I'm sorry if the lighting's a bit fuzzy, but I'm recording downstairs because it is gone 4 in the morning. I don't want to wake people up. Thank you for watching and bye.